welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna try antiquing a mirror. My sister has been on the hunt for an antique mirror for a really long time, and they're either like really expensive or they're super hard to thrift because they go so quickly. And then I realized I have an old mirror in my attic. I went up into my attic and got this down. This mirror was actually in my sister's childhood bedroom, so it's at least 30 years old, and then it somehow ended up in my attic as an adult. I don't know how, but regardless, I am going to try to surprise her with this and see if I can DIY an antique mirror. My thought is, since I already have all the materials, like no harm, no foul. So let's get started. So I do want to take the mirror like out of the frame because I'm going to spray paint the frame and redo it as well. Just gonna take some citrus strip, put it all over the back, this like gray paint, let it sit, and then just strip it off. But you do want to make sure you're using a plastic, not a metal, or you're gonna scratch the mirror. So while that sits, we're gonna spray paint the frame. I do want more of an antique finish, so this is just gonna be a darker base for what I'm gonna end up layering on in order to give it that antique vibe. I really need to remember to wear gloves when spray painting. I'm gonna let the citrus strip like sit for at least 30 minutes. I think it should be pretty easy to get off. So we're gonna check back. That is so satisfying. So when you're stripping off the backing, a couple things, it's really important to use a plastic scraper. You don't want to use a metal or you are going to scratch the glass. You definitely don't want to do that. Then you also want to make sure that you don't let your stripping, whatever you're using to strip, I use citrus strip, it worked great. You don't want it to sit too long because you don't want this gold reflective piece right here to be removed. Otherwise, you're just going to have a piece of glass versus a mirror. I diluted some bleach in a spray bottle. I probably did like 1 part bleach to 3 parts water. Just to start, I don't want it to be too strong. This is honestly the part I'm most nervous about because when I've watched tutorials or looked at photos, I feel like this is where people go wrong in that they almost antique it like too much that it looks DIY'd. Whereas like a really good DIY, you want it to look like you purchased it. Like you want it to look like the mirror naturally antiqued that way. I really don't want it to be like, oh my gosh, she DIY'd this. Not the goal. We're gonna spruce this thing up with some rub and buff. I have European gold. I've used it for like every project that I've ever used rub and buff for. And honestly, like you get these little tubes and you think this is not gonna last me forever. This is 6 projects deep or something. Like it lasts forever. I think the fastest way to do it is gonna be with a glove, but I do have some parts that, I don't know, be a little bit more careful with. So we're gonna do both a glove and a brush and see how it goes. Good morning, it's the next day. I let everything just dry overnight and reassembled the mirror with the frame this morning, and I am so happy with how it turned out. I feel like it's just the perfect amount of like antique that I wanted, because I do feel like the step with the bleaching is the part that just gets too overdone. So my biggest recommendation is definitely to like take that part slow. That is definitely the part that I was most nervous about. I feel like I got like just the right amount. I think any more would have been like too much and looked too DIY'd. I think it really is just like the perfect amount, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm honestly tempted to keep it, but I want to do that to you, Allie, even though I really want to. This project took me less than 3 hours. I did this in the span of my daughter's nap times. And this project cost me $0. I had the mirror, I had all the supplies to do it. If you have a mirror laying around that you don't know what to do with, definitely recommend giving it a try. I feel like it's just such an easy way to add some character and charm to your home, because really the key to a timeless home is mixing old and new. And while this is kind of fake old, it does really give the appearance of antique vintage, and it's just really pretty. I hope you guys loved this DIY as much as I did. We're gonna be jumping back into our bedroom makeover series, so stay tuned because we have a lot of fun projects coming down the pipeline for that, and I will see you guys soon. Alrighty, bye.